Hello, in today's video I'll show you what are the first 10 things to do after setup on your Dreame D20 Plus. The first thing is a firmware update. If it's available, it's important to ensure that your robot functions properly, and to do it, click on three dots in top right corner, then find firmware update. If there's no version available, then you don't need to do anything, but if there is a new version available, you just click on install and it will start doing it automatically. Make sure that during the update you don't turn off the robot, you don't press on any buttons, and keep it charging. Once it's done, the second thing is mapping your home. To map your home, make sure to open all the rooms to all the doors to all the rooms. Remove any obstacles that may make the robot get stuck on, like pieces of clothing, cables, and stuff like that. The robot will just basically automatically go around the whole home to scan it, so you can later view the map and edit it. I'll show you the editing in a moment. First, let's start mapping. So as you can see, open all rooms to be cleaned, arrange furniture for more open space, clear wires and debris, and don't move the robot or dog during mapping. Let's click on OK, and now it will start doing the mapping. And also what's great is that during mapping you can already, once it just scans the area thoroughly, you can already add a threshold or ramp so the robot will know that it has to pay attention there and lift its body to go further. Or you can add a no-go zone if you don't want the robot to go somewhere. I'll get back to you when the mapping is complete, and then we'll see the rest of the things to do. Okay, now my map is completed and I can edit it, and that's the thing that we're gonna do now. So let's click on the map edit button right here, and then you can do a few things. I won't show all of that, but let's do the most important parts, which are room partition, in case you want to split or divide, split or merge rooms, or hide some rooms as well, or rename them. You can easily do it. First, select a room that you would like to, first let's do dividing. So I'll select a room, I'll click on divide, and then I'll create a line, just like that. Let's save it. And now you can see it split into two rooms. What I'll do is I'll split it once again. So I'll do it like maybe like that this time. And now let's merge room 2 and room 3. Click on merge, you can select those two rooms and merge them. And now you can see I have two different rooms set in that way. I can now also rename them. I could also hide them if I didn't want the robot to go somewhere. But let's select a room, let's rename it. You can do custom name, but I'll do just living room. And there do kitchen. Confirm. And now let's go back and let's adjust a few more things. Floor type is quite important if you want to minimize scraping against the floor seams. So if you go to floor type, select a room and select floor material, you can set it to tiles, square tiles, horizontal floor. It can be tiles, can be wooden floor, any kind of floor that is horizontal or vertical. As you can see, that's how it changes. It shows on display, so you can select it to the correct kind of direction, or if they are square, set it to square. And that will allow you to enable a setting, which I'll show you later. Then no-go zones and virtual walls are also quite important. I always set a no-go zone for dog food because I don't want the robot to spill the water and stuff like that. So let's say it's here and I just don't want the robot to go there. I can set a no-go zone like that. I can do more no-go zones. I can also do no-mop zones, and I could do a virtual wall so the robot won't go past a certain wall that I set. Now let's save it. This is what it looks like in my case. Then the next thing is going to be, I don't really pay attention to furniture. Cleaning order can be changed, which is basically the order of global cleaning. You can add a threshold or a ramp so you can see the robot will know where to pass it, and you can also create passable or impassable thresholds, and also you can do a ramp as well. You can mark a ramp here, so feel free to create it. It's just like a virtual wall. You just create it like that. Then the next thing is going to be the carpets. You can also add carpets, but it also automatically recognizes them, so you don't need to worry. Now let's get to the next things. So click on three dots and we'll adjust a few settings. So that is the fourth thing to do, adjusting the schedule. You can set a schedule so your robot will automatically perform a task on a set period. I'll do it maybe at 11 a.m. 11:45 a.m. And you can change the repetition. If it's set to once, then once you enable it, it will happen on the closest possible occasion. Then turn off the schedule and you can turn it on again before the task that you want to perform. I'll do weekends, and then you can select whether you want to clean the whole home. You can change the cleaning mode, the suction power, the route, and for mopping modes you can also change the mop wetness. And you can change the amount of cycles sometimes. Then rooms, you can select which rooms to clean. If you instead all, you can select room and then select which rooms to clean. I'll do both of them, but I'll set different settings for each of them. You can do that, so they both have different settings, then save it, and that's how you can do it. And you can also set shortcuts, but I haven't gotten into creating shortcuts yet. Now, that's how it works. The next thing is adjusting the carpet cleaning settings. If you have carpets, then you should do vacuum. You should set it to vacuum, and you can enable carpet boost so it will boost the suction power when it goes on a carpet. You can also set it ignore, but that's only if you have mats that can be mopped, like rubber mats, because carpets shouldn't be mopped. They shouldn't be mopped. That's it. So you should set it to vacuum if you have carpets, and if you don't have carpets and just rubber mats or something like that, you can set it to ignore. Now the next setting is floor cleaning settings. That's what I mentioned earlier. Cleaning along the floor, you can enable it so the robot will adopt a shape that will minimize scraping against the floor seams. And now the next very important setting is auto empty. If you go to that, you can set it to off so the robot will not automatically empty the dustbin into the dust bag. So you'll need to either manually trigger it by going to the home screen of the robot, clicking on dock and then clicking on auto empty, or manually remove the dustbin from the robot and empty it on your own. You can set it to high frequency, which can check the level of dust in the dustbin, and if it's high, then it will return automatically to the station during task, empty, and continue task. You can also set it to standard, which will only empty after completing the task, and low frequency, which will do it after completing 3 cleaning tasks. Then the next setting is going to be in more functions, and it's a do not disturb mode. This is the time in which the robot will not do some things, and it's described. You can just change the hours. You can set multiple do not disturb modes, or you can disable them altogether. And after it's enabled, the robot doesn't automatically resume cleaning. So if it goes back to the charging base, for example, because it got discharged during the task and it wants to recharge before it resumes, it won't resume during the do not disturb mode. Instead, it will resume after the do not disturb mode is finished. It will also not perform auto empty tasks, so it'll also wait until the do not disturb mode is finished, and then it'll automatically empty. And the do not disturb mode doesn't affect scheduled cleanups. So if you have a schedule that happens within a do not disturb mode period, then it will still be carried out. And now the next thing that I want to show you is if you have multiple networks at home, which happens if you have a large home, and the robot may lose connection to one of the networks if it goes far away, you can actually connect it to multiple networks, so it will automatically switch between them. If it loses connection from one of them, it will try connecting to the other one. And to do it, go to Wi-Fi management, go to Wi-Fi list, and click on plus. Then you will need to connect to your phone to that network that you'd like to connect the robot to, and enter its password, then save Wi-Fi, so your robot will be able to connect to that network. Then the next thing, if your energy rates are lower at off-peak hours and higher at peak hours, you can enable off-peak charging and set the starting and ending time of the off-peak time. Then the robot will charge to the minimum required level while working, and the full charge will only happen during off-peak time. Then the last 2 things that I want to show you is first of all, changing the language and volume in case you want to change the language or adjust the volume. And then device sharing. If you have multiple people that may want to manage the robot, you can share it with them by adding contacts. First, they need to download the Dreame Home app and sign up for their account. Then you can add contacts and basically send them an invitation so they can accept it, and then they can also use the robot from their own app, so it's just available for multiple people. And these are the most important things that you should do after setting up the robot. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.